Hello everyone, it's so nice to be back. I've just spent nearly 3 weeks in Israel on the most wonderful, amazing trip, the Akiva trip. I saw hearts open up, I just saw souls so happy, and I met a bunch of beautiful people, and you guys know who you are. And one of the hallmarks of Israel, and especially of the old city where we were staying, which was right near the Western Wall, right by the Kotel, is the beggar women that are there. There are many people there, men and women, collecting charity. And for themselves, they sit on chairs, they have cups, they rattle and shake and wait for you to give them. Some of them play music, some don't. Some gently harass you if you pass them by without giving. Some give you incredible blessings when you do give. And there's kind of like steps leading away from the Kotel, and or towards the Kotel, and as you walk down, there's just people to your right and left to give. One of the women remembered us from our last trip. Her name is Shoshana, and some of the girls started bringing her down breakfast. One of the most amazing days was when one of our girls brought Shoshana breakfast, and she said, wait, and she shared it with her neighbor beggar woman. And when we passed by these women, I commented to my friend Melanie, I said, the world is so upside down, because here are these souls. They came to the earth, and they are kind of reincarnated into this pitiful position of needing charity all the time. I said, who would choose that? They're actually doing us a favor by being that guy who has to ask for money. So that when we go down to the Kotel and we pray and we want to ask God for things, we have an opening of the gates, because we've given to His children. And God always says to us, you give to my children and I will give to you. So before we go and say our prayers, we give to all these people. And I want to tell you, after being there for 21 days, you start to feel that, that strain or that delight, however it is for you, when you reach in your pocket and you take out that money. So I'm back here now, and this morning when I woke up, it was a little hard to get out of bed. I kind of felt like I miss Israel, and now my children are here, my husband is here, I love it here, there's amazing people here, but there's a quality in the air, a spiritual quality in the air, that I feel almost like I'm suffocating without it. It's like it takes effort to kind of do good here, spread the light here, feel as connected, pray in the same way. It's almost like it feels like it's uphill, almost like there's like a fog, and I've got to like sift through the fog to try to find my center. And I was feeling, kind of like bad for anyone who's not in Israel. Now, if you've never been to Israel, you might not know what I mean. If you have, then all this makes perfect sense to you. But I started thinking about a friend of mine who recently told me that as we come to the end of days, life mimics the exodus from Egypt, because we're going to have a mass exodus and a tremendous revelation. And one of the end plagues is called Makas Choshech. That's the plague of darkness, that it's now a time of darkness. And, we can't see God as easily. We talk about Him, try to do good things, but we really are always looking for that light. And the last plague is called Makas Bachoros. That means the last plague is when the firstborns died. And it says in the Torah, it says that there was not one house that was spared. And this is kind of our days now, where there's not one house, not one of us is spared from suffering. Maybe you've got a kid who's in trouble, maybe your husband's out of a job, maybe you're out of a job, maybe you haven't found your loved one, maybe you just found out about a terrible diagnosis, maybe you have depression, maybe your house is going under foreclosure, maybe you have a kind of debt that you don't want anyone to know about. But my experience has shown that every single one of us, myself included, is suffering with their own special package of troubles. And it's easy to see why. It is easy, because in order to get out of this, we have to actually want to get out, and we've got to call to God and say, like, we're not going to rely on anything physical anymore. We're going to turn to you, and we're going to ask for your help, and we're going to make that connection. But really, as I was thinking about all this in the morning, my thoughts were getting kind of dark, and I needed some energy to get through the day, because just thinking I'm in this foggy darkness of a world really wasn't going to do it for me, and it was hard. So I did carpool, and I did like a morning grocery shop, get some eggs and milk, and a woman over there, what was her name? Arlene Gittelson, I think that was her name. She was in the register next to me, 8 a.m., and she gave me a wonderful compliment and a beautiful comment. Made my day. And as I walked out, I remembered something. I remembered that in life, you always are choosing whether you're a giver or whether you're a taker. And I thought to myself, you know, I'm here, I'm back from Israel, I'm not feeling as rooted. What can I do? What can I hold on to? I can hold on to my sense of being a giver. That's a goal, that's a light in this darkness that I can choose to shine all the time. Like this woman shone on me and actually gave me a tremendous boost to my day. And I thought about the women at the Kotel who are there asking for money, and how just being in that environment created givers out of all of us. And I thought, you know, it may be a dark world, but if you light a candle, then you can see. And it may be a cold world, but if you make a fire, then you get warm. And I stopped feeling so bad about not being in Israel or not being anywhere else, because I realized that today I have a choice of being a giver. I can give someone a smile, I can give extra attention to my daughter when I'm brushing her hair, I can make my husband breakfast, I can give a compliment, I can give some time, I can make that phone call that I don't want to make, that it'll just take 5 minutes. And you know, today in Baltimore it's supposed to be a giant storm. I don't see any storm yet, but I was recently reading about Rabbi Victor Miller, Alav Hashalom, that he used to say about rain, how wonderful it is. He said people complain about rain, but if you would look at rain properly, you wouldn't just see raindrops, you would see all your dreams falling from the sky, your entire livelihood, the livelihood of your children, your health, your wealth, your happiness, literally falling from the sky. We're so dependent on rain. It's the most incredible gift. And I realized that when you look at the world as a giver, what can I give? You're open to seeing the gifts that God has for you, like the rain. But when you're in it as a taker, like I started out this morning, what does this world have for me? I've got nothing here, I'm so in the dark. Then you also stop seeing the gifts that God gives to you. You also look at the world and say, oh, I bumped into traffic and this isn't going my way, and if I go my way, things aren't, you know, as I need them. Give me more, give me more. So being a giver is the gift that I'm taking today from my trip to Israel. And speaking to my friend Melanie again here, she's a fitness coach. She's actually helped people lose up to 400 pounds. And she said to me, it's all about setting goals. Say to yourself, I'm going to do this and this and this today. And she meant fitness goals, or goals towards fitness, like going grocery shopping for healthy food, right? And I thought to myself, well, what if I need a boost? What if I just make myself a goal? 3 times today, I'm going to give, I'm going to stretch, maybe even write down those goals. And that just kicked me into a much better gear. So I'm back here, and it's a much better place than I started out this morning. Instead of mourning that I'm not there, and I hope God willing will soon be there, I feel today like lighting a candle and hopefully inspiring you to light that candle in your life, because together we can make the world a much brighter place. Take care.